I think of us humans as the oceans. When you see the ocean, like when you're about to go surfing and you pay attention to the waves, what you're seeing is a lot of turbulent waves pounding one after the other, big waves, sometimes moving in different directions, and a lot of turmoil, you know? I think that's the surface of a human being, a lot of turmoil. That's the surface of the ocean. When you get into the ocean, it feels so quiet and calm. In Spanish, it's el mar está bravo, like the ocean is upset because it looks so turbulent. But even in the most turbulent, you get inside and there's this sense of peace, of calmness. I think that's how we humans are. When we experience the silence within, we know there's a sense of calmness and compassion deep within. And if it's in you, it's in me, it's in everyone. We just got disconnected because all we see, all we are taught to see is the surface. We need to go deep.
You have to change and adapt accordingly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, my question is, like, why aren't all businesses doing this? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me now.
Why aren't all businesses doing it?
Yeah. Like,
doing what?
Well, just having
Why aren't
some
all
sort of-
businesses being responsible?
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets me too. I don't
understand
I don't get it.
Why there's another option.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't get it either. Trust me. And it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Wait a second. This is too far into it. Let's go back. It started when my parents, Gary and Stacy, decided to go away for their 25th wedding anniversary. They settled on Bodhi Surf and Yoga, a mom and pop operated surf and yoga camp in the small town of Bahia Ballena, Costa Rica. Their stay included lodging for 6 nights, 5 yoga classes, 5 surf lessons, a walking tour of the community, a waterfall trip, a massage, and some healthy meals. When they got back home, they seemed a bit different. They were talking about their connection with nature, their love of the ocean, and a newfound environmental awareness. They put me in touch with Travis Bates, one of the co-founders and operators of Bodhi Surf and Yoga. He had offered me an internship, but I was interested in something a little bit more ambitious: a documentary. So, with the help of both of our networks, we raised some money on Indiegogo, and I flew off to Costa Rica to see what had flicked on my mom and dad's environmental light switch. When I met the Bodhi crew, I was surprised to find that the co-founders were from different places. Travis is from San Diego, California. His wife, Pilar Salazar, is Costa Rican. Adrian Chandra Huff is from British Columbia, Canada. And Hebron Garcia is from San Blas, Mexico. They all have their own fascinating stories as to how they started running Bodhi Surf and Yoga together. But those stories are for another day. We'll just stick to the business.
Bodhi Surf, the company, was created in, I think it was January, February 2010. Travis just kind of operated it as himself.
But at that point, it was just kind of like, oh, let's do some surf lessons to get some extra income.
It was a very, very difficult time because Adriana and Hebron were not here. So we were just running Bodhi and having other jobs and having a baby.
Maya, watch out. Mommy's gonna light that on fire. Move your hand, please. Just watch. No touch. Whoa! Whoa!
Okay, guess I'll go now. Travis and Pilar live on site with their 2 daughters, Maya and Clea, who were 5 and 2 at the time.
Are you filming me?
I was wondering when you were gonna ask that question. Like, what is she doing? Right? She's filming for the film.
Okay, let's make the things Really, really scared. ¿Cómo hace el león? ¡Ay, qué miedo!
Now let's make Jazine really jealous. Say, Hannah.
Anna.
Oh, wow. And once we have Maya off to school, which is right around 8:15, then it's time to either get in the water to do a lesson, eat breakfast with the guest, or jump on the computer to do some emailing. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe like what my day is because it's kind of all over the place. A lot of the stuff that I do for Bodhi Surf is business development, you know, and connecting with different organizations. Jazine is actually down here in production mode because she's making a documentary film on us called The Bodhi Wave. And so today she's actually following me around all day. So she's been following me since 5 o'clock this morning.
What are we doing this morning, Travis?
Well, it's 6:28. We're going to leave at 6:20, so we're 9 minutes, 6:29 now, late. Lesson starts at 6:30. And we're waiting for Hebron. He's in the bathroom. He's gonna pop out over my right shoulder here in a second.
I told you he was gonna pop out over there. Taking a poo.
How you feeling today, Hebron?
Very light. Not agile.
What's your role out of the Bodhi crew?
Solving problems. Aside from being surf instructor and our like customer service person.
Deal with the shit.
I deal with the shit.
Camera's on.
What are you doing?
Surfing.
What are you gonna do today?
This morning I'm gonna surf.
That's Hannah Walsh. All the awesome surf and drone footage you'll be seeing was shot by this girl right here. I know what you're doing. It needs to go this way. See what she's doing here? She's a pervert. Hello and welcome to Bodhi Surf School.
Well, my official title is Surfer and Word Wizard, but I think that's expanded now to sort of encompass what is the guest relations. Now this here is alegría. This is where the magic happens, as they say. Alegría means joy. This is our new marine litter museum. So these are things that we find at the beach. So what's the point of this? It's just sort of to collect it all together and show people, have it all in one spot, show people how hideous it all is, and to get them thinking about things they use. Very unnecessary. As is this, in my opinion, a plastic cup. I'm definitely the one who's most extroverted and social in the group, so it's a really natural fit for me to be the person who is hanging out with the guests, sort of being the liaison between the Bodhi Surf School and the guests. So,
Leia, are you trapped? So, what would you say your specific role here is?
Obviously, yoga. Yoga is my main thing. We're 4, and 3 of them are surf expertise, and my thing is yoga. This is Bodhi Shambhala. This is where my heart is. It's a very small place, but it has been very gentle with everyone who comes here. Open, very connected with nature. Like as soon as I practiced for a few years, I knew I wanted to teach, and I knew how hard it is to get to a point to be able to teach and have your own studio and everything. So it was almost like an impossible dream that I never thought it could happen. It's yoga, but also I manage some administrative areas of the lodge.
We should start figuring out.
We just roll the dice. I mean, we don't even know if it's sold
No,
yet.
you-
There's so many.
No, not rolling the dice. Travis,
with you.
we said that, and then we're fighting the whole week because of we rolling the dice. He seems so chill right now. This is not right. Cut it.
Right. So That's kind of hard separating like work from the house because we're always working in our house. That's Clea. Can you say hi, Clea? Can you say hi to Katie? Say hi. As you can see, we're a family-run business.
Are you gonna be one of those people with a shoe closet when you're older?
Travis is very visionary, and he has such a strong idea what was Bodhi gonna be. I don't think he asked Frank, he asked me or anything. He just pulled us together and said, we're doing this.
Oh, it definitely dropped down in size. Actually looks really nice. You know, once we decided that we were going to formalize Bodhi, I started reaching out to all the contacts that I had. The potential was there. You know, there was no one else offering surf and yoga. To have a surf school inside a marine national park to teach about marine education and ocean conservation, like that opportunity doesn't exist everywhere, you know?
Before we had a lodge or any physical assets except for maybe a couple surfboards and a car, we just simply taught people how to surf and how to do yoga.
And then he ran one day. I remember how I was sitting. I remember how Hebron was sitting. I remember everything. And I said, yeah, so we need our own lodge. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna faint.
If you really believe in something and you put your mind and heart to it, it will work, you know? And the thing is that the other stuff that I did in the past didn't really work because it really wasn't my passion.
It was fun getting to know the co-founders and how Bodhi Surf and Yoga came to be, but it was clear that they weren't your regular surf and yoga camp either. They had certain business philosophies that I had never really been exposed to. I wanted to dive deeper.
The idea was to be a nonprofit, you know, and use surfing as a development tool. What I came to learn, not only through my work as a Peace Corps volunteer, but through my research, is that these nonprofits, they didn't have any income-generating tool. They didn't have a steady revenue stream. And so they were hot one year, and then the next year, I said, you know what? Let's look at the for-profit model. That's when I started thinking, all right, we could do for-profit, but have the social, environmental aspect to it.
I hope it works out.
I don't know, for me, it was just always like, you know, like I want to do something that I can feel good about.
Most people define traditional businesses as businesses that are seeking to only make a profit, right? So they're not really considering triple bottom line, which is making a profit, right? The economics, the financial situation, but also the social and environmental impact. So if we define traditional business as those that are only seeking profit, that's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that they're only looking at one particular metric, right, to measure their success. I think strategically, from my point, I'm looking at, now that we've become B Corp certified, is partnering with other B Corp certified companies. That's a natural fit, right?
The primary goal of Bodhi Surf School is actually more to utilize our business to inspire others and show that business doesn't have to be this idea, you know, this traditional business model of making, just focused on making money. It can be a tool with which you are able to enact positive change in the world. So,
What about a business as a service to others? what about a business to create something good for the community with the least impact in the environment?
Bodhi Surf and Yoga has various corporate responsibility actions, all based on what the community wants or needs.
It doesn't make sense for somebody to develop a corporate social responsibility if they don't know their community and understand the history of the town and also understand where that town might like to see itself in the future.
Bodhi has something called a Traveler's Philanthropy program, where guests can donate any amount to one of 3 local nonprofits, who can then have the funds to do the work that the community needs. Bodhi also helps in a hands-on way with various community programs. They host Service and Surf Saturdays, a monthly event where anybody can come do a beach cleanup in exchange for a surf lesson. There's yoga for the community. Pilar provides a free weekly yoga class for those in the community who might not be able to learn yoga due to language, price, or accessibility. Alongside local nonprofits and like-minded companies, Bodhi runs a tree reforestation project in order to protect their shoreline from coastal erosion.
You're so brave! Oh my god! Oh, it's right there.
Bodhi is a refuser of single-use plastics, and in 2017, they created the Bahia Ballena Plastic-Free Initiative. In August 2017, with the help of artist Alban Corrales, community leaders, local businesses, and nonprofits organized to build a 9x5 meter humpback whale made from 3,494 single-use plastic water bottles. It stands as a visual reminder for everyone to do their part to reduce their plastic consumption.
We started this idea that said, how can we actually further eliminate plastics from our community? And Bodhi really took an initiative and started to really implement those ideas in their own business. And so they, along with a few other businesses in town, have really been models for others.
Bodhi upholds this triple bottom line approach of people, planet, profit in these tangible ways, but also in ways that seem a bit more abstract. One of their main goals is to create a positive guest experience, which any good tourism business would want to achieve. But then they also try to link their guests' positive experiences with pro-environmental behavior change. They hope their guests leave feeling relaxed, connected with nature and themselves, but also ready to make some changes in their lives to lessen their environmental impacts. This is what I assume happened to my parents.
So people, when they're on vacations, are like open, they're like relaxed, you know? They're like happy because they're chilling, they feel chill. And we swoop in and we're like, take care of the planet, yo. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to make changes.
We end up doing a little like closing ceremony at the end of the week.
Really what we're trying to do is use surfing, yoga, nature immersion, and community engagement, use them as tools to get you to start thinking about your relationship with the ocean. Maybe you didn't have one before, maybe you did. Hopefully that you've improved your relationship with the ocean. And so what we do at the end of our week is we actually ask you to make a commitment. So we ask our guests to make a pledge, right? Our higher purpose is to help motivate people to become what we call ocean guardians or ocean stewards, right? And not only our guests, but our community members and ourselves. And so we do well through empowering others to do well. What we're trying to do is actually give people information that they can put to use back home once they've returned home to minimize their impact on the planet.
You want to just sort of help people make those connections that you just had this amazing experience. Why don't you go home and take that with you and use it sort of as your reminder, as your fuel to do things in your own life and encourage others around you to sort of make these improvements that will benefit us all, that will benefit the ocean.
We found the Blue Marble Project, like this is it. They represent Earth, right, which is mostly water. Some people keep it in their pocket, others keep it on their desk, others pass it on.
If we can get people engaged with the ocean, with nature, with themselves through yoga, and have them do some deeper reflections and start to really think about their impact on this planet, and we get people to start thinking about, oh, yeah, I am taking too much. Let me stop doing that. Let me give. Let me give, right? And the giving is coming from love because they've fallen in love with the ocean.
Bodhi uses their vacation business to instill pro-environmental behaviors in others. It's their philosophies on surfing and yoga that help them do this. They teach surfing and yoga in such a way that connects their guests with themselves, the ocean, and the world around them, in hopes of instilling pro-environmental behavior changes. After learning about their views on the two activities, I never really thought about surfing and yoga the same way again.
Through surfing, which is a very specific activity you do in the ocean, people fall in love with that activity, the adrenaline, the dopamine, and then fall in love with the resource that's providing that experience. And because of that, they're more likely to protect it, right? It's all about kind of, again, facilitating this relationship, this connection, and helping you fall in love with the ocean through surfing.
What the Bodhi recipe is that giving people a way to connect with nature in a low-tech way. I think it's a way of relating to nature that very few people from cities and from the developed world encounter anymore. And I think it touches people. I think it opens them up.
In essence, when you catch a wave on a board, you're harnessing the power of nature, of the ocean.
So if people can take that even as a symbolic experience and say, wow, working with nature is really powerful and it's really moving and I felt so alive doing that, why can't I work with nature in my normal life? Why can't I be more open to that emotional and sensory experience? Live a lifestyle that's more connected to nature when I get home.
Taking them outside, teaching them how to surf, helps them get that. Do they instantly stop getting plastic straws in their pipa frias? No, it doesn't have that kind of change. But they begin to ask questions and they begin to cultivate a practice of asking questions about their impacts. And environmental stewardship suddenly becomes a part of that question. I think learning to surf by itself doesn't necessarily make you a better person. But I think learning to surf and combining it with practices of mindfulness and curiosity certainly can make you a better person in some deeply transformative ways.
Being out in the ocean or being in the rainforest for the first time opens your heart. And I think what Bodhi does that's so amazing is they look at that open heart, that open mind, and then they're able to start giving you information, and connecting with you person to person. I think the environment can't do it alone.
When surfing impacts your life so much, then you can transmit that love for nature and the way you take care of the waters coming into the ocean, the way you take care of the plants, because that impacts the ocean.
It's about connecting with something bigger than you are and everyone and everything. I do think that can lead us in good directions culturally.
Some days when I just feel completely overwhelmed, like, yeah, it's just about just going out there and like not seeing anyone, not talking to anyone, and just being able to enjoy, right, the moment and the peaceful tranquility of just kind of like floating out there and riding some waves.
The majesty of good surfing, it's a very beautiful, poetic form.
Surfing is just a beautiful embodied metaphor.
Is 70% of the time paddling, 20% of the time wiping out, and 10% of the time in the wave. Sometimes life is like that.
I guess ultimately in the end, like, you just want to have fun.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time and I came to groove. The whole band's here and we came to move. Got a fresh haircut and 2 new shoes. We're here all night like we got nothing to lose. I'm coming out the jacket cause we're turning up the heat. I wanna see you clapping when you get up out your seat.
Yoga, when it comes to yoga and surfing together, when people join the packages and the retreats and everything, they sometimes, especially in Costa Rica, they come mostly for the surfing, and then yoga is just company, you know, the dessert, the ice cream. Might have it, I might not. And I didn't like that. I wanted people to come and because they want to learn, or at least maybe they don't want to, but they get to learn what yoga really is. And in a world that yoga has been taken as a workout and we're losing all the essence of yoga, I wanted to do a curriculum that really teach people how to implement yoga in your daily life. You come here and we pretend you don't know anything, even if you know. We pretend you know, and we build the practice from there, and we analyze first this part, so it's more like an educational thing. I belong to a method. More than a style of yoga, it's a method, Ashtanga, which has certain way, in a way that is classified so you really, really can learn. The idea of this practice is to live in a better way and to serve others and to apply the values of the sutras. It's about creating no harm. I think a true yoga practitioner will make a conscious effort to reduce the footprint. Yoga was never about like having a beautiful yoga mat with beautiful clothes, with beautiful yoga bottle, and with green smoothies that you use in a disposable plastic. No, yoga was actually about keep it simple, because simple is good.
The philosophy of yoga is really, really so conducive to environmentalism. It's just like these ideas of use what you need, but no more than that, you know, sort of leave very little impact on your surroundings. And just these ideas that sort of satisfaction and happiness are from within. They're not, you're never gonna find them outside yourself.
And I think that yoga for me kind of just made me realize, like, you know what? You don't need things. You do your practice without anything. That simplicity or that no need for things can translate into people's consumption patterns.
Yoga brings presence into your life. It makes you feel more present, more right here, right now. And when you do, you start paying attention. And when you start paying attention, nature around you is beautiful enough. You don't need more distractions. I hope in 10 years, those values are present into everything every one of us do. Consciousness, awareness and respect for nature, respect for other human beings, education, no harm.
Bodhi operates with the sustainability of the environment and the positive growth of their community at its core, which I found out isn't unique. There are many businesses that use this triple bottom line approach of people, planet, profit. But then I started thinking about all of the businesses that were just concerned with profit. And well, let's go back to before.
Like, my question is, like, why aren't all businesses doing this? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me now.
Why aren't all businesses doing it?
Yeah. Like,
doing what?
Well, it just
why aren't our businesses being responsible?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that gets me too. I don't get it.
Why there's another option.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't get it either. Trust me. And it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It's egregious that we ever got, and I have an understanding of how we got here, but that we got into this situation where we know what we're doing and we're doing it anyway.
What we are doing is detrimental to ourselves, right? Directly to our environment and by consequence to ourselves.
They're not invisible pressures. They're not pressures in our mind. You know, it's an entire world system of values, of capital flows, of lifestyle that gives us fewer choices.
It didn't make sense. So Travis put me in touch with a few experts in San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica. I wanted to see what they thought. Why were so many businesses still concerned with just profit? And how can we shift away from that approach to a more sustainable one?
Pero el problema es que la gente identifica el vivir mejor con adquirir. Y ese es el mensaje que recibimos, por ejemplo, de los medios de comunicación, de la televisión.
We don't have an environmental problem. We have a social problem. We have actually there's like an emptiness that we have individually, right? And for me that's the problem that we have, right? Because we then try to fill that emptiness with a lot of stuff that we really don't need.
Now that everything is green and sustainable, and that you want to have like fair market, you know, like agreements and all of that, you know, like the main aspect you have to remember is that at the end we are humans, we consume, and the only difference than we have now from the past is that at least the new tendency, because at the end there's a tendency, you know, for people to buy, is it has less impact. That's the thing. So if you provide me a new way to consume, because I'm gonna consume either way, you know, so the only thing I ask you is that please at the end, you know, like what you placed in front of me, so I fell in that trap, you know, like at least that at the end I'm not hurting people, I'm not hurting the environment. That's about it.
Me parece que es un abordaje innovador vincular una actividad como el surf y también como el yoga con la sostenibilidad.
How can we protect the wave, and how can the wave even give us more benefits to reinvest in the protection of the local environment? You know, it's a huge opportunity, but no one's looking at it, right? And no one's creating the framework in order to take advantage of it.
And at the end, you know, like the only thing you can do is, if you really want to do something, is do it yourself. Even though the change is small, Like if you see it in a wider perspective, it's gonna be the only thing you're gonna have to start that real change.
Tiene que haber, por un lado, un apoyo estatal del gobierno, políticas que no sean de 4 años, sino que sean a largo plazo, o sea, que sean políticas de 50 años. Por el otro lado tenemos al sector privado, que es el que tiene capital para generar cambios más rápidos. Entonces necesitamos incentivos, subsidios que puedan acelerar ciertos cambios. Y en eso también está apoyar a pequeños emprendedores como Pilar y Travis, digamos. Y la tercera es que la responsabilidad también es mía como ciudadano, no dejarlo solo al gobierno y a los empresarios, sino cómo yo puedo ayudar. O sea, una simple decisión puede generar grandes cambios, incluso a la hora de decidir.
How can you do well by doing business? If we can get people engaged with the ocean, with nature, with themselves through yoga, and have them do some deeper reflections and start to really think about their impact on this planet, I think that we can do well by doing business.
The biggest thing is for each business to evaluate what they're doing and how each component of their operations is impacting the environment, and then take action steps to change those things that have a negative impact.
There's a way to be in business and make money and do it sustainably and do things like taking into account your impact on the environment, your impact on the community, and people want to come to businesses that are supporting the environment and doing positive things, and it's actually an advantage.
And even responsible businesses use resources. We have to use them responsibly, and we need to not be just asking for people to buy more. It's, no one's perfect, but if you're a conscious consumer and you're paying attention to your choices, and if you consciously choose to say, I know what the impact of that is, but I need it or I want it, and maybe you'll make an adjustment next time, or you'll compensate it somewhere else throughout your day, you gotta give yourself a break too. Work in progress, but anything is better than just living with blinders on.
We don't have to leave our fates up to government officials or, celebrities or others who we think have more power, because there's a lot of us, so we have power in numbers. That is how shit gets done, Small actions taken by a lot of people.
And start simple, maybe don't start by, selling your house and moving a shack with nothing. No, just the straws. One step at a time, baby steps.
I saw Bodhi as a company that was doing what they could to improve their planet and community, while also putting food on the table. It was inspiring to see them always looking for ways to make their business more environmentally sustainable.
We still have major steps like at Bodhi to take, such as being on solar power and using rain captured water.
We know what changes we have to do in order to go plastic free. So taking that step is one of the should be priority right now.
I'd like to make our kitchen lower impact. That would be a big goal for me.
I want Bodhi Surf to become the example for other surf schools with respect to empowering people to become ocean guardians. I have a vision for Bodhi, and I don't want it to be in 20 years that we're just a hotel, for example. I still think that we need to do 2 or 3 different things and continue to really develop the model so that people can copy-paste, so to speak, and then do it better than us.
So somehow once you label yourself as like an eco-tourist destination or sustainable business, I don't take it lightly. I don't want to use that word and not live up to it. So you always sort of want to check in and make sure you're living up to those goals. And I know personally, I never feel like we're quite doing enough.
After my stay in Costa Rica, I was more aware of the environment and our effects on the planet. But it was actually Travis and Pilar's 5-year-old daughter, Maya, who put my newfound feelings into words.
Awesome. Do you have anything that you want to say for the movie, for the film? This is your moment.
Well, not really. I have a few stuff to say.
Okay.
This environment is everything.
When you get up in the morning and you look outside, you see the natural world. But do you see kin? Do you see close relatives? Or do you see foreign objects? If we grew up with a real understanding of evolution, that all of life is related to a common origin, that every living thing is a relative, is real biological kin, that's no stretch of the imagination, that's no artifice, that's the real understanding of the tree of life. There are no exceptions. I think what we need is the ideology that comes with evolution, this view that all of life is related, that we are one gigantic family.
El ser humano se ha olvidado que es parte de este planeta y se cree rey del planeta. Y parte de la búsqueda del equilibrio es reconectarnos con nuestro sentido animal.
Why is protecting the ocean so important? Well, I think everyone should be able to answer that in one word: life. It's life. Plain and simple. If we don't have the ocean, we're done. Done, 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 done.
The planet Earth is like a big mass of water circulating constantly. Life comes from there. We need water. Every single living creature needs it. So if we pollute it all, we're not only destroying ourselves, but destroying every single life around us.
They forget, you know? They forget what it means to be interconnected, right? They forget that we're all connected. When we look out at the ocean, all you see is what? The surface, right? You see this long, beautiful stretch of blue out into the horizon, but what you don't see is what's underneath it. And it's hard for us as a species that lives on land to even fathom what's going on under there and how that is life and how that benefits us and how connected that is to us.
There's one thing that will get everyone or a majority of people to care and protect for the environment.
Love. So fall in love.
How about the love?
Yeah, well, because this is the thing.
You can't protect something you don't love. You can't take care of something you don't love. You can't be respectful of something if you don't love it.
Let's go. Is this clay?
Living like a cool kid, young and stupid, words seem cliche.
up.
Message here on the telephone, 'cause we've no idea when we're coming home. Any place we wander.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it has been a pleasure to have you girls.
I'm done.
That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just kidding.
It's been real, it's been fun, and it's been real fun.
With you?
Along the way, I had a lot of meaningful conversations. Sadly, many of them didn't make it into the documentary, but I wanted to say thank you to everybody who took the time to talk to me because each conversation allowed me to understand Bodhi, the planet, and our impacts a little bit more. A big inspiration for me was how the co-founders of Bodhi Surf and Yoga were just people trying to make a positive impact on the planet. It made me question my own impacts and made me realize that if I choose, I can make a positive impact too.
On your side, I wish I'm coming forward, times on my mind.
What if while you're speaking the whole time, I'm just staring?
So yeah, what to expect from the film is that hopefully it, motivates people to take action, whatever that is for them.
I think a lot of people could hear about all these issues and just think, well, I can't do that much. But I think that's why this film is good, because it's talking about the issues, but it's also giving you solutions, which is simple, but it's also rare. I think that people don't actually give you things you can do. So,
What have been some difficulties you've encountered?
I had a camera flood in a waterfall. My drone was broken before I used it, so I had to travel 2 hours into the mountains to get it fixed. And then the drone was great until just a few days ago.
What happened? What happened, Hannah?
It crashed into that tree, and the camera flew off.
How has, if at all, surfing affected you?
Whenever I get a really bad wipeout, go to the shore, cry, go into the fetal position, and then I paddle back out. I'm like, I'm ready.
I can do this. I kind of want to plan my future around where I can surf now.
Oh,
I knew it.
Do you guys believe, after your investigations and interviews while being here, that development can go hand in hand with sustainability?
I think it's possible. Whether or not we're gonna do it is a huge question, because I definitely think it's possible. We just have to want to do it. Possible. Don't know if it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're so much taller than me.
Torso.